Right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all the honors and the praises and all the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahavakak Wadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His Son's name is Yahweh Shai, in whom I reverence. Honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days. Okay, so lucky about the camera, it's a bit dark, but it doesn't matter. It's about the message. Really, look, you know, this is camp day, so I was supposed to go out to camp, but because of a few, I call it unprofessionalism, right? We're here, but you know what? It's about the word. As long as the word gets pushed out, and sometimes Yahweh Shai doesn't want you to travel. Sometimes He may want you to stay put in a particular place. But Lord willing, this will be edifying to the hopeful elect. And I want to start off on Matthew 10. Right? This is Matthew 10. And I want to go straight to 16. Very, very, very important stuff. There's a lot of things going on. Highly spiritual things going on. Right? All types of things. We're going to get into it. This is Matthew 10 and 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep among wolves. So we are likened unto sheep. Sheep can be very docile, vulnerable at times. So we're sent as sheep by the Messiah in the midst of wolves. So there's many wolves around us, and wolves seek to devour. All right? Be therefore wise as serpents. So we got to be wise as serpents, snakes, right? The snake don't just strike you. It picks its moment. It picks its time. Most of it curls off into a bush, a region where it's hidden, and it only strikes when it's threatened. That's when it strikes. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, because doves can't hurt you. Harmless, right? So this is the way we conduct ourselves, and in the manner we conduct ourselves. We're not out here to be We're not out here to be Mr. Tough Guys. We're not out here to do that, right? And I want to get into the whole of it because a lot of serious things are going on. Camps are being infiltrated. All types of different things are going on, right? Verse 17, but beware of men. That's the point I want to go into. Beware of men. So the scripture is saying, beware, you're being cautious. You don't just want everyone around you. Many people, their hearts are being turned, their minds are being turned against you. You got Central, I want to go into it, Central, bro, I thought a lot of things out. I thought it out hard and careful. It's, Central Intelligence, right? Some call it CIA, right? And what's else? In the UK, it's MI5, if I'm saying it right? So you have MI5, which is what is it? It's an intelligence agency. So now you've got to ask yourself, well, why are they watching you carefully 24 hours? Now you've got to ask yourself that, right? And yeah, there's many different reasons, but you have to ask yourself that, because when I went on the site, actually went on the site yesterday, did someone, for you to get put on in there, someone would have to report you, because you got the number, you got 2 numbers, right, that you can phone up. If you think there's a threat or anything, you can phone up that number, right? So someone obviously phoned up the agency because they thought you were a threat. This is why we have to be moving wise, right? And sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes they get alerted by the elites. There's many different circumstances. But this is serious. That's why we're not supposed to be out here stomping your feet like Mr. Macho Man. You're not supposed to be out here like that. Carnally, we are at a disadvantage. Spiritually, we are at an advantage. This is what I always say. Once you teach the words, get up, move, don't hang around. Because this whole truth is everything now is a setup. Everything I see around me is set up. People are all set up around me. And that ain't supposed to move you. It doesn't mean you don't travel. You still travel. You still do what you have to do. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils. So it says it. Yahushua was telling us this. We're in that time now. Right? They would deliver you up. The councils. Right? Where's the councils? The buildings. Right? And some people say synagogues. It could be the synagogue. It could even be MI5 buildings. You know, you've got secret buildings locations. Right? For investigation. Because we are under investigation. We are the most wanted. And a lot of the times it would be because what you teach, because Yahushua said you're going to suffer the same things that I suffered. But I notice certain brothers' targeting is much more high level than others. Bro, my targeting is, bro, and again, it's not woe is me, bro, it's high level. It's high level. Bro, they have technology within my father's household where I'm being watched 24/7. Can't even scratch my ass without them watching me. Can't even eat without them watching me. So for them to do that, I also read the I'm gonna get back into scripture. I also read the statement. It also said they would have to have a reason to put these technologies. They have to have a reason, and the reason would have to be, well, he's a danger. That would have to be the reason, and that's the only way they can implant these technologies in your household. They've done it. They've done it in mines, you know, not encave the walls and put something in there. Devices. So, man, that's why you have to be wise in this truth. And deliver you up to council, then shall scourge you in their synagogues, and you were going to be scourged in synagogues as well. Beat in whose synagogues? The Pharisees. And there's so much depth to this, because it could be anyone. It could be jealous people you know in the world. My target, and I believe there's a lot of people, but there's a lot of people behind it. There's people in the world that I used to roll with, mixed in with people in the truth that were against me, right? And they were against Yahushua. And there's a lot of things that have been going on in the background. So we just got to stay prayed up. That's all we got to do. Stay prayed up. Okay? Because it was the same with Yahushua. They could not get Yahushua on anything. Yahushua was innocent. They couldn't get him on anything. So they had to make up stuff. Got to understand what we're involved in. I've really wanted to branch out and do this lesson today, but not everything goes the way we want it to go. Right? As soon as I arrived to the train station, where you got demons there acting up, it's a spiritual battle. But I believe most of it is spiritual. 90% of it is spiritual. 10% of it is technological, and technology and all that other stuff. But we're being watched continually. And this is so spiritual, because even before all this happened, that the first, I think, 2 years I came into the truth, I had a dream that, bro, my house was surrounded by different cars. I had a dream, bro. I dreamed this. I visioned this. And now years later, look what's happened. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Right? I actually had a dream. I think the first year I was in the truth, that there was vehicles surrounding the house, silver cars, police cars, everything, task force. And they were just surrounding. Some had guns in their hand. This is serious business. I've got witches. I've got witches on every corner. Astral projecting through my household. This is heavy level stuff. Brothers, just be wise how you're moving. And they shall scourge you in their synagogues, and you shall be brought before governors and kings for my name's sake. It says it. You're going to be brought before governors and order for my name's sake. You're going to be brought by some of the high top people, officials, for Yahushua's sake. That's why I always say, 9 times out of 10, it's not nothing you've done. It's bro, it's no crime. That's rubbish. It's no crime you've committed. That's a load of rubbish. Because if it was, then they'll present to you, look, this is what you've done. You're coming in with us. No, you don't watch someone for 10 years, 11 years, and you don't have nothing on them. But you have all these devices. It don't add up. So it's for the word's sake, right? Especially if you got, because that really works against you. Right? You have all this technology. You're watching an individual. So you should be able to gather some type of form of evidence that this guy he's not right. Yeah. So 9 times out of 10, it is for the gospel's sake. Okay. And you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. For Yahweh's sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Right? Some of you are going to be brought before court systems. We don't know who that's going to be. But it's some of you. Yeah, while you were in this truth, you've had men within the truth and around the truth that were working with intelligence agencies. I want to say that again. Yeah, while all these years you've been laboring in this truth, you've had men that were against you, that were working with intelligence agencies that were not right in the spirit, trying to bring you down because you have the spirit upon you. They didn't have it. And because they are of the world. That's another thing. Okay. And it says, Baba Kasha, but when they deliver you up, take no thought of how or what you shall speak. So when they deliver you, don't be overthinking, what am I going to say? Man, leave that into the hands of Yahweh Shai. Right? Let him take over. Okay? And there is going to be people that will vouch for you as well. Okay? And it says, for it shall be given you in the same hour what you shall speak. The Lord's going to put it in your mouth what to say. At that right time. Right? He will give you what to say. What to speak. And it says, Baba Kasha, where was I? For it is not you that speak, but the spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Right? So you got to be careful, and a brother shall deliver up the brother to death. That's why you got to be careful. You may have a biological brother that, I'm sorry, he just might be a demon. Because people do, if they don't understand the truth, they look at it from a certain perspective. And remember, people, they're being paid off money. You got people selling out left, right, and center, doing all types of shit. Right? It's about those that believe. Because if they don't believe, they're liable to do anything. Satan's just using them, and he can use them against you. Right? Just doing sneaky shit behind your back. There's all types of things going on. And it says, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Excuse me. But it says, he that endureth to the end shall be saved. So we have to endure, right, until the end. They're the ones that are going to be saved. Those that endure to the end. Not halfway, all the way. And when people, the persecution is pretty much already started, right? It's just that they're looking for something to say, well, what can we get them on? They're looking for something. Excuse me just a minute. Why do you think they got all these dog walkers? You think they got all these dog walkers? Bro, not that many people have dogs. Most of these people that you see, them dogs don't even belong to them. They're given it by what? Intelligence agencies. The MI5. Right? You got the dog section. The dog section, what, that's a police that's like a police military dog section, isn't it? That's not for regular citizens to do that. They have not really been trained. They've just been told, you go here, go there. Ecclesiastes 9 and 13. Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill. Right? Pay attention to this. It says, keep far from the man that have power to kill. Right? So, if someone has a lot of pulling power, they know a lot of money, they got a lot of resources, and they're very wealthy, bro, you don't start running up your mouth and put you, because now he has the money and the resources to make your life a living hell. That's why you got to move wise. Now, one may say, well, you talk about the elites. Well, but that's scriptural. But you have to move wise and be very mindful of what you're saying and who you're coming up against. And that's why I like to keep it cordial. And keep far from the man that have power to kill. Because you don't know this man's capabilities. He can get you offed, right? He may try to put a hit on you, right? He may try to put a hit. That's why you got to be flipping wise in this truth. I always say, do what you have to do and get on with your business. Don't hang around, right? So should I not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fool. Right? All right, mate, how you doing? All right, move on. All right? And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that God is in the midst of snares. Don't you know? This is the midst of snares. And snares is what traps. Why not thou walkest upon the battlements of the city? So, you know when we're walking up and down the city of London, these are the battlements. The battlements you go into, what? A fortification. Castle. It's like there's mines everywhere. There's traps everywhere. There's pits. You can't just be walking around dilly-dallying. You're all dilly-dallying. Right? You're seen as a suspect. You're seen as a threat for what you believe in. We are a threat to the kingdom of darkness. I want to go to Ephesians. And I'm sorry to say, but a lot of men that are within the truth, mainly in Great Millstone, they were set up by government intelligence agencies to spy out other men, what other men are doing, right? And guess what? Yeah, they may be quoting scriptures, but that doesn't mean anything. They learn the scriptures. Okay? Go to Ephesians. Someone. Ephesians. Where was we? Ephesians 4 and 13. But all things are approved, are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth maketh manifest is light. Hold on just a minute. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead. So arise that sleepest, and arise from the dead. Awake. So we need to awaken to this truth. Right? We were once in this sleeping state, but arise and awake. How do we awake? Through this truth. This is how we awake. This is how we're given this light. Okay? And it says, Babakasha, and Mashiach shall give thee light. See then that you walk circumspectly. Key thing, full circle. Spectly with your eyes. So in other words, you're looking around. Right? You're being circumspect. Don't just want to be out here doing nothing. Full circle, spect with your eyes. So you're looking around. You're observing stuff. Right? You're looking at your surroundings. Who may be doing what? Right? Because the devil's always on what? The trance. Okay? And it says, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. Be not as fools, but as wise. So we got to walk as wise men. We can't be walking as fools out here. Right? Because we have a lot of people, they're trying to entrap us in our words, entangle us. We have to be walking as wise. Alright? And yeah, there's a lot of things I would have done. Look, there's a lot of things I would have done different, but everything happens for a reason. There's a lot of things I would have done different. A lot of things. But now we just have to leave it into Yahweh's hands. Now I will say this. Go to Ecclesiasticus. You know what? Go to Peter's instead. Go to Peter's. Because, look, sometimes you can't help but think about it. This is It's a spiritual thing. But I always say, all right, with the whole people following you and all that, and everything else, and the cars outside and the tinted whips and the Ford Focuses, whatever the Ford Focuses, the Fiestas and all that. Well, what is that? To me, yeah, it's spiritual, but what is it? That's an intelligence operation. That's MI5. These are government informants and people that want to get out. You may be in prison, you may be doing a bid, you want to get out early, and they say, well, you want to help us out. So this is what's happening. And they also just pick random people as well. Do you want to help us out? And people are just joining. So it's government informants, and it's MI5. It's an operation. But you always got to remember it's spiritual first. So there's an operation, a psyops. This is a psyops operation. Right? Psyops. Okay? And one may say, well, what did you do? Sometimes it's just simple, it's just doing nothing. You just, even that, you minding your own business, even that. Right? So I don't want to get into the intricacies of why. Yeah, Habasha knows why. Okay. And some people just get paid, and other people, remember, they're forced to do it as well, because remember, it's more so spiritual. And remember, handlers have handlers, right? All types of things are going on, all types of things, right? But this is a nefarious program, because really, we're gonna get back into the scriptures. Before you do target someone, all right, you may be secretly doing it, but after some time, you're supposed to let that individual know, according to the law. All right, this is why we're targeting you. Have you got any questions and this and so forth? If you've got any problems, you could write in court, fill out a file in court or whatever. You can't just do that. You don't have permission, especially to set up devices, especially mind control devices, right? The MK Ultra rubbish, right? They have the powers to do it, but it's the way they're doing it. It's illegal, right? You could be simple as something as you said something against the organization or whistleblower. It could be anything, but I'm not here to, what is, bro, it doesn't matter. The thing is that you're being watched by secret services for some reason, right? Could be anyone. Someone may have reported you in the offices and said this is happening, or that. Could be anything. But you gotta have faith. At the end of the day, you stay faithful to your Habashai, everything's gonna be alright. And the services, because remember, you can't get too mad at them, because they have to inquire. They have to inquire. Now, if someone rings them up and they get an inquiry, "Oh, we have suspicions about a young black male. He's got a garment on." They have to inquire, because they're doing their job. But after some time, once you've inquired, there's nothing there. All right, leave this lad alone. That's what you're supposed to do. But they're not doing that. They're not doing that. And you hear them cars as well. You hear them cars that go past. I know a lot of brothers deal with that. Them cars that go past. You hear that, bro. That's not an exhaust pipe. That's not an exhaust pipe. You do know now you can get electric guns online, right? These are known as torture weapons. So they're also using these electric guns and using it. Yeah, they have these things. You can buy them online, which is terrible, right? This is a psychological operation on the elect, and it's not just happening to me, because I've watched other brothers' videos, and it seems to be the same thing is happening to them. Whether it's lower, this was happening, right? But remember, it's a trial. First Peter's, and I believe as well. I've spoken to one. I'm not going to mention his name. I've spoken to one individual, and he did say, "Well, who was you around? Was you around someone that you shouldn't have been around? Who was you rolling with? Right? It could have been someone that you were with that you shouldn't have been with, right? And they were working with the ops, right? They were ops, right? But it's a lesson learned, and it's just an experience, you know? Be careful who you're around, because this person, he might not have the same integrity that you have. He might be a scumbag, a complete scumbag, and a spy for the other side. Okay? It's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned. And don't be telling everyone your business. Right? And it says, 1 Peter 4:12, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial. Oh yeah, and the individual did say, look, well, don't worry if you ain't, look, if you ain't done anything, over time, the MI5 or whoever, these intelligence agencies, they see that and they say, you know what, leave this lad alone, right? You got to trust in Yahweh Shai. Because, man, I've watched several videos. Some have said, some people have been targeted for 10, 20, 15 years. That long. And others, it's just about one or two testimonies that they got taken off it. Right? One Israelite, he actually got taken off it. And the people that were targeting him, one of them actually got into a car accident. I think it was a car accident. And he died. Right? So you just got to believe that Yahweh Shai, all things work good for them that love Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. You ain't done nothing. You ain't got nothing to worry about. All right? But it's when they're trying to, it's serious, when they're trying to entrap you. That's when you know that's when you know it's serious. When the MI5 or CIA, watch their movies when they can't get you for something. Bro, they ain't gonna leave you alone. You know it's serious when they're trying to get you. When they're trying to frame you. Go to 1 Peter 5:12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as some strange thing happen unto you. Right, excuse me just a minute. And even these devices, the MI5 can hack that as well. They can weaponize it. They can do all that stuff, all of it. Right? Yeah, they can attack you while you're in your household. Right? They do it. Even when I went to my mother's, they had people set up there as well. That's why I don't go as much. It doesn't stop me from going. But they got in her hair. They can do that. They can infiltrate. We're dealing with Mason's hair as well. Right? Okay? They can do all that. As soon as I get to my mother's, guess what? You have builders there changing the networks. You got to ask yourself, well, why? Think it not strange concerning the fiery trial. So this is a fiery trial, man. I'm telling you. It's fiery. Okay? Fiery trial. Alright? And at about 7 o'clock, there's so many things that happen. About 7 o'clock, I think, 6, 7 o'clock, there's always a van that pulls up. And I believe this van is a van that's responsible for monitoring people, what they're doing in their households. That's illegal. Right? So there's a lot of organized crime going on. And that's another reason why you could be targeted, because you're speaking the truth. That's one of the major reasons as well. So much things are going on, but we've got to stay faithful. As though some strange thing happened unto you, so we don't want to be in a spit of, why is this happening? It's strange. It's because you're in the truth. You always think of it because you're in the truth. There's nothing you've done wrong. Because you can't be, hold on, you've been walking around for what? I don't know how long, and no one's came up to you, no one said nothing to you. So, it's for the truth's sake. Okay? And it says, Baba Kasha, but rejoicing. And remember, a lot of the people around you, they're told to say this, it's terrible. They're told to say this, they're told to say that. Yeah, go and belittle him. All these things. Right? And it's another reason, because you have leader. Yes, you do have leader qualities. You're able to think outside of the box, and you have leader qualities. That's a huge reason why you could be targeted as well. You're very patient. You're not impulsive. You don't act impulsive. Another reason, right? Why you could be targeted. Remember, these people, a lot of them, they don't want to do. They're told to say it. They're told to do certain things, or they would get replaced, and somebody else will take their position. Remember, a lot of these people doing what they're doing, they don't want to do it. They're told to do it. So, I don't want to be too horrible. Some people, some of your gang stalkers, you never know. They could be watching you. They might be inspired. You don't know. You don't know. Some of them are told to do this. Mate, you got to do this. If you don't do this, you're gonna do the rest of your time in prison, another 5 years, right? Another work colleagues. If you don't do this, well, we're gonna target you. You don't know what they've said to these people. Okay? And it says, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. But rejoicing as much as you are partakes of Mashiach suffering. Rejoice! Rejoice! Rejoice, man. And so much partakes of Mashiach suffering. I can't believe the visions I was having in the first year, 2 years. I had visions that I was being watched by government. I had visions. I'm not making this. I had visions, and I don't really, you know me, Karab. I'm not one to tell you about the visions and prophecies. I had visions of these things the first year. Right? The first vision was of what? There was cars, as I said it, there was cars surrounding my house. And years later, this happened. Another vision was I was sleeping, and there was someone in the room sitting in a chair, and guess who it was? It was Jacob. It was Jacob Rothschild, Baron Jacob Rothschild, sitting right beside me in that room, just looking at me while I'm sleeping. Bro, this is... And I haven't told anyone about these visions. Except for, I think, one person, but he's no longer in the truth. So it's amazing how things play out, and we just got to trust Yahweh Shai. This is like a bad nightmare you want to wake up out of, right? Or a dream, whatever you want to call it, right? But rejoicing as much as you partakes of Moshiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. So be glad in these sufferings. Don't look at it as a bad thing. The end of a thing is better than the first, the beginning. And I want to say this, I've done several videos and you're still not paying attention. You're still not paying attention. Why have you got individuals setting up camp outside the MI5 building? Why have you got individuals doing that? You got to put two and two together. As soon as you do a lesson, this guy's clenching his teeth, walking off. Where's he gone? What, 30, 40 minutes? Where's he gone? Just to take a piss? What, for that long? Right? So there's clues. I'm not gonna say no names, but there's clues. You just gotta be able to see, and it's right in front of you. It's right in front of you, but you can't see it. The camps are being infiltrated. Watch out for men that always say as well, information. We got information. We got the info. We got the intel. Gather your intel. Watch out for all that. See, Yahweh and the apostles, they were not dealing with information and intel and that. They were dealing with prophecies and the gospel. That's what they were dealing with. The Pharisees were dealing with intel. Right? The wicked Pharisees were dealing with intel. Right? Information and the law, which they were not keeping themselves. Because if they were keeping it, they wouldn't have accused Yahweh Shai falsely. And Stephen, I believe, man, there's a lot of things going on. But at the same time, you can't always say, well, it's men in the truth that are targeting you. Because remember, these same men that are in the truth, they're also being targeted as well. Because from what I've seen, I've looked at some of the apostles' videos. Some of them are being targeted. But it doesn't mean they can't target you. Because you know one thing I did do? I sent up a prayer not too long ago. Whoever sent me this evil, because there was a lot of things happening. I said, whoever sent me this evil, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, return it back to them, return it back to their sender. And so happened, shortly after I said that, that's when I started to see other brothers getting targeted. So could there be a link between certain brothers that are standing up for Yahweh Shai, that have his testimony? Could it be that certain men sent you, in the truth, sent evil spirits? Because I also see one individual, I'm not going to mention his name, that said, yeah, let's all concentrate our energy in one place. That sounds like witchcraft to me. That sounds like sorcery. That sounds like someone is gathering other individuals together to do a little seance or a spell on so there's a lot of things happening within this truth. Why are you watching videos for entertainment? Okay. First Peter's 4:14. If you be reproached for the name of Mashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and the Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of. In whose part? Those that don't believe. But on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, right? Or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. So it says it right there. You're not supposed to suffer doing those things. So when you wake up to the truth, you had brothers that were in gangs. Well, you depart from that gang. You may have been a thief where you stop stealing, or an evildoer, or a busybody, someone that's nosy in other men's matters. So you put off them things. Don't suffer as that, right? So you come to the truth. You're not still stealing, are you? Robbing people? You're not doing that. You're not a part of gangs when you're in the truth, right? Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Most High on this behalf. Okay, so that's what we're supposed to do. Glorify Yahushua on his behalf. And there is a huge link between persecution and men that claim. There's a huge link. How do we know that? Because I'm trying to put everything together to the best of my ability, and I believe I was targeted way before before you even know any camp or you link up with brothers. But when did it really increase? This you gotta pay attention. When did it really increase? Huh? Did it increase when you may have broke off from brothers, or you may have stopped talking? You gotta pay attention, because if it did increase when you may have stopped talking to certain people, then they may be responsible for your targeting, right? Go to John 7. Excuse me just a minute. This is John 7:7. The world cannot hate you. Check this out. But me it hates you. So it's not really us that hating, it's Yahweh. Because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. So the works of this world are evil. And when you testify against evil, guess what? You're going to have a lot of opposition. Right? Go ye up into the feast, I go not up unto the feast, for my time is not yet full come. And he had said these words unto them, he abode in Galilee. When his brethren were gone up, then went he also up into the feast, not openly, but as into what secret. And alright, I've looked at both of the Passovers for the last 2 years. Men in a demonic spirit. I'm going to say that again. I've watched both of the Passovers for the last 2 years. And in the UK, these men are in a demonic spirit. Right? So you got to be able to put everything together. I hate to say it. Right? But it's clear for you to see. Right? They're not in the spirit of mercy and long suffering. Okay? So lucky about the cameras, what is thing dark up. Yeah, they're not in that spirit. They're not in that spirit of long suffering, compassion. Right? They're in that Cain spirit. And because I testify of it, it's that the works thereof are evil. And it says, but the Jews sought him at the feast and said, where is he? They were looking for Yahushua at the feast, at the Passover. Where is he? They were carnal. They wanted to do him something. And there was much murmuring among the people concerning him, for some said he is a good man. Others said, nay, but he deceived the people. So there was a lot of, Yahushua was very controversial. How about no man spake openly of him for the fear of the Jews? See, nobody really wanted to mention anything because of the Jews. That means the Jews had, the Pharisees and so forth, they had a particular power. They had particular power, pulling power within this kingdom. Right? Remember, they were part of the Roman state. I always say they were in bed with the Romans. Alright? Basically, they were doing deals. Okay? They were not for Yahweh Shai. Not all of the Pharisees, but most of the chief elders, they were already established. Alright? And how about no man speak openly of him for the further Jews? So I'm looking at my journey, and there's some people that would once upon a time you speak, and some people they don't mention anything. They're too scared because they think they'll be targeted. Don't mention, bro. You got to look at this thing spiritually, right? All them videos I was doing with that last page, bro. You had men in the truth that were trying to shut me down. You had men in the truth that were trying to shut me down, shut this word down, control opposition. So you got to ask them, what are they ready for Yahweh Shai? Go to John 7. And I want to jump straight to verse, check this out. Go to verse 43. So there was a division among the people because of him, because of Yahweh Shai, right? Because of him, and some of them would have taken him, but no man laid hands on him. So it says no man laid hands on him. It says some would have taken him, but no man laid hands on him. On who? Yahweh Shai. Right? No man laid hands on him at all. Excuse me. Okay. So, really, they wanted to take Yahweh Shai. Right? They wanted to take him. Okay. And it says, alright, yeah, there's a lot of juju masters, but no jujus don't work against your elect anyway. And it says that they would have taken him, so they wanted to take Yahweh Shai. Alright? But they would not. Okay? So, why wouldn't they take him? Because they were scared of the people. Verse 45. Okay? And it says, Babakashah. Then came the officers to the chief priest and Pharisees. Right? And they said unto him, why have you not brought him? So there was officers with the Pharisees. Right? So the Pharisees also had officers. Right? Let me pause it. So you got to ask yourself today, well, yeah, the Pharisees sent them. So they're working hand in hand with the Pharisees. Okay? They're working hand in hand with the Pharisees. Okay? This why we got to be spiritual. Got to be spiritual about this. Right? Right? Yeah, these people got some dark spirits in them. Dark spirits. Right? Okay. And that's another reason as well, why these people are sent. Well, who sent them your way? Right? And it says, Babakashah. Where was I? And then came the officers to him, chief priests and Pharisees, and they said unto him, why have you not brought him? Right? Chief priests and Pharisees, they were saying to officers, hold on, why haven't you brought him? Why haven't you brought him? Okay? It's crazy when you think about it. Well, where is he? So, they also had officers that were in their pocket. So they were powerful. The officers answered, never man spake like this, man. Even the officers were convinced. No, man, bro, his words were just... So they were listening. Then answered them the Pharisees, are you also deceived? So the Pharisees had a problem with that. Right? Well, you must be deceived. So they looking at Yahushua like he was a deceiver when they were the deceivers. Have any of the rulers of the Pharisees believed on him? The answer is yes. There was several Pharisees that believed on Yahweh Shai, but they couldn't confess him. Right? Or they'd be kicked out of them synagogues and they'd be ridiculed. Right? But these people who know if not the law are cursed. Right? So we went to that. So this is basically summing up everything that was happening. And we know what they do as well. Their little standing campaigns. Right? The elect, apparently the elect are useless. But hold on, I'm up. I'm up way before you, doing the work of the Lord. Or what are you doing? Right? The elect are the most productive people, men on earth. Right? Because they were pushing forth a kingdom. Right? That's what we're pushing for, a kingdom. Okay? So, we went to that, Baba Kasha. I don't really let all that get to me anyway. Remember, these are just evil, that's just evil spirits. Right? I don't really let that get to me. Right? The reason why that's said to you, so you just stop in it, you give up. Right? Don't give up. But excuse me just a minute. Remember, a lot of these people are under MK Ultra. Excuse me just a minute, Baba Kasha. And that's why I want to go to James, because I've always said so much clues. If someone's just, I know we have to do things within the world. Go to James. I'm not gonna shut off soon. Alright? Go to James 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. You're a friend of this world, that makes you an enemy of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. If you're a friend of this world, right? That means you're an enemy of Yahweh Shai. Point blank, period. So, even when we're within this truth, you got to look and say, well, this individual, is he more inclined to the world or is he more inclined to the truth? Because if he's more inclined to the world, he's more liable to give you up, to turn on you at any given moment, right? Any given moment. And it says, Baba Kasha, you know the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High. Whosoever there will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High. So we don't want to be friends of this world. That makes you an enemy. So most of you people, they're enemies to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. They're enemies because they're friends of this world. They're companions of this world. Now, are we in the world? Of course we're in the world. But you're in the world, you're supposed to get right out. What Clark Kent mode? Clark Kent mode. You get in and you get right back out. Right? And because you're not of this world, another reason why you're target, you stand out like a sore thumb. You stand out like a sore thumb. Because you have the light of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai upon you, and they don't. Right? So they can see your light while they're still in darkness. Many reasons that you can be targeted. Because you're outspoken, you don't follow the values of modern society. Another reason. Right? So, where else was I? Verse 5, do you think not the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy, but he giveth more grace, whereof he saith, the Most High resisteth the proud, but he giveth grace unto the humble. Right? And you know what, Lord willing, I don't know, later on, we might pop out and do another lesson in the wilderness, Lord willing. See what the weather's like. I think we're expecting some thunder today, and lightning. But he giveth more grace, so like the spirit in us dwelleth lusteth the envy, and you have a lot of that in the truth as well. A lot of envy, right, within the truth. But he giveth more grace, whereof he saith, the Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. The humble, right? So that's what he does. He gives grace unto the humble, but he resists the proud. That's another trick of the devil as well. He can use pride against you just to destroy you. That's why we have to check ourselves as much as possible. Okay? But giveth grace unto the humble. Submit yourself therefore to the Most High. Resist the devil. The more we submit to Yahweh by Sham Yahweh Shai, the more you're able to resist. That's how you resist. By being obedient, by submitting yourself. the less you submit yourself to Yahweh, the more the devil can have you in his clutches. And he will flee from you. It does say he will flee from you. So if he's not fleeing from you because there's something that we may be doing wrong, and you may need to fast as well. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to what? You. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts. You double-minded, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. Be of a contrite. The Lord will not despise those that have a contrite spirit. So we also have to be of a contrite spirit towards Yahweh by Sham Yahweh, and the hopes of receiving that crown. Okay. Alright, so with this, I hope this was edifying, not a long one. We may do another lesson later on. We just have to see how things go. And Lord, when this was edifying, stay circumspect. Continue pushing this word. Don't let the things around you move you or shake you. It's because you are a threat to the kingdom of darkness. And it doesn't matter if you put whatever they want to call it, a blacklist, whatever. You got to believe that Yahweh is in control of all things, right? Because it is spiritual. He's in control of all things. So over some time, Yahweh, he will help you out with your trials, but that's if you're submitting to him. So continue to submit to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh, right? And he will submit to you, right? I want to carry on. You know what? There's a few more scriptures. That I want to get out, right? Excuse me just a minute. Because in Luke, let's go to Luke, Baba Kasha, right? Let's go to Luke, jump straight to verse 10, all right? And 17. And the 70 returns, all right? You know we have power over all spirits. And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord Yahweh Shai, right? Even the devils. So it says, hold on. It says, even the devils, right, are subject unto us through thy name. So even the devils, even the spirits on the left-hand side are subject to us. All right? All spirits are subject to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. The spirits on the left-hand side and the spirits on the right-hand side. They're both subject to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Because the left-hand side also works for the right-hand side. Right? Satan works for the Heavenly Father. Walk across. Satan works for the what? The right-hand side. You know that?
Fortunately.
Satan, he doesn't do his own thing. If you read the book of Job, it says Satan had to try Job. He was given permission by the Heavenly Father. In Masonry, they teach you that Satan works for himself. No, he has a commander. And it says, even the devils are also subject unto us through thy name. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Right? So Satan also fell from heaven, his highest state. Okay, behold, I give you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions and all over the power of the enemy. And nothing shall by any means, right? And nothing shall by any means hurt you. So we're given power to tread upon the enemy, right? We are given that power, bro. Bro, there's heavy Satanism going on. There's heavy, bro. It's Satanism is being glorified, but you know what? Your everyday person, right? Your everyday person is a Satanist. I never knew this. You could say I'm naive. You could say that. Your everyday citizen is a Satanist. Your everyday citizen. Even to your local neighbor. Hello, I'm Sally. She's a Satanist as well. Right? Because what's the Satanism? Satanism is basically you doing as you will. That's Satanism. You serve in the flesh. So with this, I'm going to shut off here. Lord willing, this was edifying. Aye, Baba Kasha, please deliver us out of this wicked kingdom. Right? And until the next time, Shalom. Shalom.